How we doing, folks? This is the Pop Music Freak back with another song facts countdown video. It's a Friday night, and I'm just gonna pump out as many as I can get done tonight. We're up to number 875 in my countdown of 1,000 favorite songs of all time. It's a big one from a big album, 1983, Eddie Van Halen guitar solo. I'm talking about Michael Jackson's "Beat It," 875 on my list. I'm gonna give you the song facts and tell you everything about this classic song. "Beat It" is a song by American singer Michael Jackson from his sixth studio album Thriller, released in 1982. It was written by Jackson and produced by Jackson and Quincy Jones. Jones encouraged Jackson to include a rock song on the album. Jackson later said, "I wanted to write a type of song that I would buy if I were to buy a rock song. And I wanted the children to really enjoy it, the school children as well as the college students. It includes a guitar solo by Eddie Van Halen." Following the successful Thriller singles "The Girl Is Mine" and "Billie Jean," "Beat It" was released on February 14th, 1983 as the album's third single. Peaked at number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100, staying there for 3 weeks. It also charted at number 1 on the Billboard Hot Black Singles chart. Billboard ranked the song number 5 for 1983. It is certified 8 times platinum by the RIAA. With over 11 million copies sold worldwide, it is one of the best-selling singles of all time. "Beat It" was the number 1 hit in Europe, reaching number 1 in Spain, Belgium, and the Netherlands. "Beat It" music video, which features Jackson bringing two gangs together through the power of music and dance, helped establish Jackson as an international pop icon. The song, along with its music video, helped make Thriller the best-selling album of all time. "Beat It" has been cited as one of the most successful, recognized, awarded, and celebrated songs in the history of popular music. Both the song and video had a large impact on pop culture. "Beat It" received the 1984 Grammy Award for Record of the Year and Best Male Rock Vocal Performance, as well as 2 American Music Awards. It was inducted into the Music Video Producers Hall of Fame. Rolling Stone ranked "Beat It" number 337 on its list of the 500 greatest songs of all time in 2004, and at number 185 in its 2021 update of the list. The magazine also named it the 81st greatest guitar song of all time. It was included in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame's 500 songs that shaped rock and roll. That is a lot of accolades on a classic song. Now, as for production and composition of the song, Jackson first worked on the demo version of the song with musicians at his home studio. The drum part was programmed on a drum machine, and the bass line was a combination of electric bass guitar and Bell Labs digital synthesizer Synergy keyboard. This hybrid bass style was retained for the main recording session. The song is played in the key of E minor at a moderately fast tempo of 138 beats per minute. In the song, Jackson's vocal range is B to A. Upon hearing the first recorded vocals, Jones stated that it was exactly what he was looking for, Quincy Jones. The song begins with 7 distinct synthesizer notes played on the Synclavier digital synthesizer, with Tom Baylor credited for the Synclavier performance on the song. The intro is taken note for note from a demo LP released the year before and called "The Incredible Sounds of Synclavier 2", first published in 1981 by Denny Yeager Creative Services Incorporated, and sold by New England Digital makers of the Synclavier. The drums were played by Toto co-founder Jeff Porcaro. Jermaine Jackson has suggested the inspiration of "Beat It" and its video came from the Jackson family experiencing gang activity in Gary, Indiana. "From our front window, we witnessed about 3 bad rumbles between rival gangs. The lyrics of "Beat It" have been described as a sad commentary on human nature." The line "Don't be a macho man" is said to express Jackson's dislike of violence, while also referring to the childhood abuse he faced at the hands of his father, Joseph. Eddie Van Halen's guitar solo. Eddie Van Halen, lead guitarist of the hard rock band Van Halen, was asked to add a guitar solo. When initially contacted by Quincy Jones, Van Halen thought he was receiving a prank call. Having established that the call was genuine, Van Halen used a Hartley Thompson amplifier borrowed from guitarist Alan Holdsworth and recorded his guitar solo free of charge. I did it as a favor, musician later said. I was a complete fool, according to the rest of the band, our manager, and everyone else. I was not used. I knew what I was doing. I don't do something unless I want to do it. Van Halen recorded his contribution following Jones and Jackson arriving at the guitarist's house with a skeleton version of the song. Fellow guitarist Steve Lukather recalled, "Initially we rocked it out as Eddie had played a good solo, but Quincy thought it was too tough. So I had to reduce the distorted guitar sound, and that is what was released." 2 versions of the solo were recorded. Van Halen reported in 2015 that he also rearranged the song and asked Jones to edit the chords so a solo could be in the key of E. Right before Van Halen's guitar solo begins, a noise is heard that sounds like somebody knocking at a door. It is reported that the knock was a person walking into Van Halen's recording studio. Another story has claimed that the sound was simply the musician knocking on his own guitar. The sound, however, is that of Jackson knocking on a drum case, as he is credited in the album liner notes. The engineers were shocked during the recording of Van Halen's solo to discover that the sound of his guitar caused the monitor speaker in the control room to catch fire, causing one to exclaim, "This must be really good." Following Jackson's death in 2009, Eddie Van Halen described working with him as one of my fondest memories in my career. Re-release and reception. Beat It was released in early 1983 following the successful chart performances of The Girl's Mind and Billie Jean. Frank DeLeo, the vice president of Epic Records, convinced Jackson to release Beat It while Billie Jean was heading towards number 1. DeLeo, who later became Jackson's manager, correctly predicted that both singles would remain in the top 10 at the same time. Billie Jean remained atop the Billboard Hot 100 for 7 weeks before being toppled by Come On Eileen by the Dexys Midnight Runners, which stayed at number 1 for 1 week before Jackson reclaimed the position with Beat It. Billie Jean and Beat It occupied the top 5 positions at the same time, a feat matched by very few artists. The single remained at the top of the Hot 100 for a total of 3 weeks. The song also charted number 1 on the US R&B singles chart and number 14 on the Billboard Top Rock Tracks chart in the US. Billboard ranked it as a number 5 song for 1983 and also claimed the top spot in Spain and the Netherlands, reached number 3 in the UK, and a top 20 in Austria, Norway, Italy, Sweden, and Switzerland. In a Rolling Stone review, Christopher Connolly describes Beat It as the best song on Thriller, adding that it ain't no disco AOR track. He notes of the nifty dance song, Jackson's voice soars all over the melody. Eddie Van Halen checks in with a blistering guitar solo you could build a convention center on the backbeat. AllMusic's Stephen Thomas Erlin states that the song is both tough and scared. Robert Christgau claimed that the song has Eddie Van Halen's wielding his might in the service of anti-macho. Slant magazine observed that the song was an uncharacteristic dalliance with the rock idiom. The track also won praise from Jackson biographer J. Randy Taraborelli, stated the song was rambunctious. Beat It has been recognized with several awards. As I mentioned earlier, at the 1984 Grammys, it won Record of the Year and Best Male Rock Vocal Performance. Track won the Billboard Music Award for Favorite Dance Disco 12-inch LP in 1983. The single was certified gold by the RIAA a few months after its release for 1 million units. In 1989, standard format single was recertified platinum, reaching 2 million in sales, and a total number of digital sales as of August 2022 stands at 8 million. So you combine vinyl with digital sales, and you have a Diamond Award winner at 10 million copies total sold, and is ranked among the top 20 biggest selling songs of all time. Music video. The music video for Beat It helped establish Jackson as an international pop icon. The video was Jackson's first treatment of black youth and the streets. Both Beat It and Thriller are notable for their mass choreography of synchronized dancers, a Jackson trademark. Video, which cost about $150,000 to create, came out of the pocket of Michael Jackson because CBS Records refused to finance the video, saying that they had gone way over budget on Billie Jean, and weren't about to do that again. So the video was filmed in LA's Skid Row, mainly on locations on East 5th Street, around March 9th of 83. There were 80 genuine gang members involved in the filming. Some of them were kind of on opposite sides of a war, but kind of put it aside for this opportunity to get paid for one night of dancing with Michael Jackson. Who would want to, who wouldn't want that opportunity, even if a guy across from you is not your friend? Michael Jackson is the biggest star in the whole wide world, so it's not a surprise. So yeah, there were plenty of professional dancers there involved. 18 professional dancers were involved in the film, so there's a whole lot there. The bar location shown in the latter part of the first minute of the video was also featured 13 years earlier in the gatefold on the back cover of the Doors' 1970 album Morrison Hotel. Coincidentally, the name of that Skid Row bar, the Hard Rock Cafe, was also the inspiration for the London original of the famous chain of restaurants that had begun in 1971. So, what else do we got? There was a world premiere on MTV, March 31st, 1983. It was the first time they ever did that for an African-American artist. Not that that's a big deal now, but in 1983, it was a big deal. So there you go. Won Video of the Year, the American Music Awards. Let's see. As for live performances, Jackson performed Beat It live with his brothers on the Jackson Victory Tour 1984. July 13th, Eddie Van Halen surprised them with an appearance and played his solo on Beat It. Highlight of Jackson's solo concert tour performances of a song is that he would begin the song on a cherry picker, which he would use later use on Earth Song during his History World Tour. Another live version of the song is available on the DVD Live at Wembley, 1988. The song would have been performed as part of his This Is It concerts as well, which were canceled, obviously, with Michael Jackson's untimely death. So, it is just amazing performance in the middle of an amazing album, an amazing time period for Michael Jackson in 1983. So, let's look. Musicians, who else played on this thing? Well, Michael Jackson, of course, leading backing vocals and drum case beater. Paul Jackson Jr., rhythm guitar. Steve Lukather from Toto, lead guitar and bass guitar. Eddie Van Halen, guitar solo. Steve Porcaro from Toto on synthesizer and synthesizer programming. Greg Phalanges on the Rhodes and synthesizer. Bill Wolfer on keyboards. Tom Baylor, synclavier. Jeff Porcaro of Toto on drums, and Greg Smith on the Synergy synthesizer. So a lot of musicians. 3 of them from Toto. So looking at the chart success, forget about it. Number 1 up and down the line. Number 1 or number 2, basically, through half the world. The ones that did lower than that, well, they're countries that really don't specialize in English music. But anyway, so year-end chart 1983. Billboard Hot 100 was ranked number 5 for the year, number 7 for the year on Cashbox, number 14 for the year on the R&B chart. Canada, it was number 8 for the year. France, number 5 for the year. Belgium, number 3. Australia, number 9. So it was big hit worldwide. Certifications, of course, we've gone over this. Basically, we're at 8 million in download sales certified in the U.S., in the UK, it was certified platinum. In the US, it's certified 8 times platinum. Mexico, 4 times platinum. And several other countries, platinum, including Canada and Australia. So there we go. So 25 years later, for Thriller 25, Black Eyed Peas, singer will.i.am remixed Beat It. Called it Beat It 2008, which featured background vocals from Fergie. Yeah. Okay, I can't talk. I'm sorry. I'm tired. Let's see. Was there anything else that was changed? They left in the Eddie Van Halen solo, because that's timeless. Anyway, it didn't chart in USA, but it did chart in some countries like Switzerland, hit number 26. Sweden hit number 43. Fall Out Boy did a remake of Beat It in 2008, and had John Mayer play on it. Actually played the guitar solo on it. That's interesting. Never heard of this version. It strikes me as interesting. Did it hit Hot 100? Yes, it actually got to number 19. Fall Out Boy, number 19. Hit the top 20. What a Michael Jackson remake. That's an interesting concept. Got to number 4 in Canada on the digital sales chart. Number 7 in Hungary. And 21 in the UK. That did well. Wow. And then, of course, not to be forgotten, the parody, Weird Al Yankovic did Eat It in 1984. And it got to number 14 on the Billboard Hot 100. Forgot all about that. Yankovic did get permission from Michael Jackson to do it. The song's music video mocked the Beat It short film scene for scene, with Yankovic mimicking Jackson's dance moves in a clumsy fashion, obviously. Jackson received royalties as Jackson was listed as a co-writer with Weird Al. It would be the biggest single that Weird Al Yankovic would ever have, hitting number 14 in 1984. So there you go. A classic song from a classic album. Beat It by Michael Jackson, number 875 on my top 1,000 of all time. So I hope you liked this video. I hope you found it informative. I hope you like it. I hope you share it. I hope you subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell if you want to be notified when my next video is coming up. I guess that's it for now. There's going to be more Michael Jackson in this countdown for sure. He's definitely a favorite of mine through the years. So I wish you all peace and love and a wonderful night.